It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, 2 outstanding elementary schools here to play our game. Play along with them and test your own science IQ. Let's meet the first team right now from Northview Elementary. Please say hello, if you would, to Sarah McFarland, Kendall Bryant, and Wilfredo Cadascio. And from Pointer Ridge Elementary School, our contestants, Jamal Hammond, Cadence D, and Donovan Evans. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to this year's elementary school semifinals. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. Kendall, would you try your buzzer for me? Thank you. Good luck to you, to Wilfredo, and to Sarah. And Cadence, would you try yours? Green team looks like it's ready to go as well. Good luck to you, to Donovan and Jamal. Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's have a great game. May the better team win. We go alphabetically N before P, so Northview and Kendall, let's play the bowl.
Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams back on August 23rd when an earthquake hit Washington, D.C. It registered 5.8 on what scale?
On the Richter
What scale?
scale.
Wait till we acknowledge you, please. Northview.
The Richter scale.
The Richter scale is absolutely right. For first blood there, you got yourself 15 points. Go red.
Science Potpourri for 20.
Science Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, scientists now think that they might be able to treat things like nicotine and cocaine addiction with the same kind of injectable chemical that we use for chickenpox and TB and other diseases like flu. What kinds of chemicals can we inject into people to help prevent those diseases? What do you think, Northview?
Vaccines.
Vaccines, indeed. They're thinking there could be a vaccine for nicotine addiction or cocaine or methamphetamine addiction. A tantalizing possibility. All right. You're off to a good start, Northview. Where next?
Body Systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Big one in that category. Teams, anemia is if you have too few red blood cells. Anemia. What's similar sounding condition is when you have too many white blood cells, and in fact it's a cancerous condition. All right, Pointer Ridge, let's see if you can get on the board. Cadence.
Amnesia?
Again?
Amnesia?
Not amnesia. That's a good try. Amnesia does sound like anemia. What term similar to anemia, anemia being too few red blood cells, is the condition where you have too many white blood cells, and it's actually a cancerous condition. Kendall?
Mesothelioma.
A mesothelioma, not quite. Good try. We're thinking of leukemia. Leukemia versus anemia. All right, you're going for some of the tougher questions, and indeed they are tougher, as we're discovering here. Go red.
Okay, let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, he said, what we know is a drop of water. What we don't know would fill an ocean. He was the same man who came up with the law of universal gravitation. Who was that famous scientist? Who was he, Northview?
Isaac Newton.
That would be he. Isaac Newton said that. The man who got bopped on the head with the apple. Or at least he saw it fall. All right, you're at the century mark, 100 points. Go red.
Body Systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, What S-initialed technique was not in effect years ago when people died from simple infections because the instruments doctors used were still covered with bacteria? What S-initial technique was not in effect back then? All right, come on, Pointer Ridge.
Stethoscope?
Ooh, good try, not stethoscope. What S-initial technique was not around years ago, which is why people died from bacteria-covered instruments?
Shots.
Sterilization. They didn't sterilize the scalpels and all of the equipment, so they were introducing more bacteria into wounds. A lot of women died in childbirth, too, as a result of that. All right, good playing. I like all of your answers. We need to get some points for Pointer Ridge, though, but Northview, you pick next.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Cellulose is the material found in plants that makes up what part of the cell in plants that gives the plant its rigidity? All right, Pointer Ridge.
Chloroplast?
Not chloroplast, no. Cellulose is the material found in what part of the plant cell that gives the plant cell its rigidity?
It's the nucleus.
The cell wall. The cell wall. That's what keeps a plant upright. All right. That's where you find the cellulose. Try again, Red.
Oh, Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, TikTok was the name of this giant reptile that ate Captain Hook's right hand. All right. Cadence.
Crocodile?
A crocodile, that's right. He was following Captain Hook around every time I heard the tick-tock, he went into a cold sweat. Good, you're on the board. Go Green.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25. The big one in the category. Teams, two-part answer. You'll need to get both parts. Teams, energy can be converted from one form to another. So if you connect a windmill to a power grid that lights up the lights in a trailer home, you're converting what kind of energy to what kind of energy? For 25 points, I need them both. Come on, Pointer Ridge.
Wind energy.
Again? Say it.
Wind energy to solar energy?
Not quite. Nope. Northview, you've connected a windmill to a power grid that lights up the lights in a trailer home. You're converting what kind of energy to what kind of energy?
Negative to positive?
No, you're going from mechanical energy, the spinning of the windmill, to electrical energy, turning on the lights. Again, please. Oh, the buzzer has rung. That means we've come to the end of the first round of questioning. Our score at this juncture, Northview 100 points, Pointer Ridge 55. We'll be back with more Science Bowl. Just a moment. Don't go away.
Across America, service learning is helping students improve their grades and their communities by connecting the classroom with community service. Working together, students solve real problems, build new skills, and apply their knowledge in a whole new way. Inside the classroom and out, service learning opens new doors and brings learning to life. Get your school involved. Visit learnandserve.gov to find out how.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. So nice to have you here today. We've got 6 outstanding young people, all of them so excited about our game. We're so happy to have them with us. Let's go over to Northview, which is over there in Bowie. And your school, it's not that old, is it, Kendall?
No.
No, maybe 5 years or about that, yeah. And it's a great school. Tell me about it. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Mr. Simmons.
Yes, he's out there rooting for you. And your sponsor is Mrs. Grove, isn't it?
Mrs. Grove and Mr. Moffat.
And Mr. Moffat. And they're both here today.
Yes.
They're going to be out in just a few moments. We can meet them. And then you had an alternate on your team, too. Who is that?
Megan.
Megan. Thank you, Megan, for all the work you did. We're going to have you come out here with the two sponsors at the end of the game. Tell me about these lab coats. That seems to be the signature of Northview.
Yes. Miss Grove got them for us because we thought this is Science Bowl, we got science lab coats.
It's perfect. It's a perfect choice. It's the great uniform, and Pointer Ridge looks great over there too, and they're matching colors, but we certainly like your lab coats, Northview, and we like having you here too. Tell me about Northview. What do you like best about it?
I like Northview for its politeness, and Mr. Simmons comes around to the classrooms to make sure that we're shining, and he's certainly done a very well job doing that.
Wow, that's what politeness. I like that. That's a wonderful answer. And you are all very polite too, so it's taking effect there. What do you want to do someday, Kendall?
I want to be a spy analyzer for the FBI or a Secret Service.
You were telling me before the show that you had been reading about that.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's your career choice. You play a really good game. It's nice to have you back because you were here last year.
Yes.
Sarah, this is your first year.
Yes.
Nice to have you here. You told me earlier that you'd gone to the National Zoo here in Washington, and it was a revelation. What did you discover?
I saw the dolphins. I didn't get to touch them or anything, but I looked at them and they looked really interesting.
Yeah, and you'd like to go into marine biology as a result of that. And you can swim with dolphins in certain places. I'm sure that's something you would like to do. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to dance. I go to Girl Scouts and I ride my bike outside with my friends.
Wow, you're a very accomplished and busy young lady. I can see why they chose you to represent Northview. And Wilfredo, nice to have you here. You have been watching our show, and now here you are. What's it like? You having a good time so far?
Yeah, it's kind of like exciting and stuff.
Kind of nerve-wracking too, right? It's like, oh my gosh, what's he going to ask me next? It's hard when those lights are in your eyes, but you all are doing a nice job. What do you hope to do someday?
Maybe not just an architect or a tennis player, maybe in the Air Force.
Maybe in the Air Force. You just snuck in tennis player there. You're a good tennis player too, aren't you? And there's a tennis court outside your school? Because school is all about academics, but also athletics. Your mind and your body both have to be exercised. Nice to have you here. You look good, all of you. Pointer Ridge, nice to have you guys here. Another Bowie school. Miss Reedy brought you over, your school sponsor. She's terrific, always a big supporter of our game. Who's your principal, Cadence?
Our principal is Miss Stevenson.
Miss Stevenson, and also I know how proud she is of all of you. And was there an alternate on your team?
Yes, Daniel Kalawali.
And we'll bring Daniel out in just a few moments as well to join the sponsor. Cadence, I'll ask you what I asked Kendall about your school. What is it that you brag about?
I just really like everything about it. It's food.
That's got to be right up there, right? I mean, if the cafeteria sucks, if I could say that, the rest of the school probably isn't going to get a very high grade there from the students. What a nice thing to say. So it's a comfortable place. You know that the adults are there. They're looking out for you, and you're getting what you need. That's wonderful. You'd like to go into the military someday, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, because your dad is in the Marines?
Yes.
Yeah, I know how proud he must be of you and you of him. And you're a good captain. You keep up your good playing. Get some more points in the next half, all right? Okay. Donovan, our young man, we're going to see him at FedEx Field someday, or whatever the name of the field is at that point, because you want to play for the Redskins, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're running back right now. You're into sports, but you're also a good academician. You do well in school. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Math. And you're also a good science student. When you're not playing football in your spare time, what do you do, Donovan?
I might draw or...
Drawing is good?
Yeah. I'll go outside or call my friend and see if he could come over, or I'll draw.
Yeah, just normal kid stuff, right? Yeah, no, you're doing a nice job here. Glad to have you on the show. And Jamal, tell us about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be in the military, and yeah.
You told me your grandfather was in the military, right?
Yes.
And what branch was he in?
I'm not sure, but I think it's the Army.
You think it was the Army, yeah. What would you want to do in the armed forces?
Well, if I was in, I would probably try to be like a technician.
Technician, wonderful. All right, well, you're a good science student. And again, get some points there. Help out Cadence in the second half. For Donovan, same thing. She can't do it on her own. And you guys, you keep playing and collaborating like you've been doing. You ready to get back into the game?
Yep.
Let's do it. Northview 100, Pointer Ridge 55. More questions and answers. Green team, last correct answer was yours. So Cadence, start us out.
Zoo Parade for 25.
Zoo Parade for 25, multiple choice question. Teams, when scientists talk about charismatic megafauna, would they be talking about tigers, monarch butterflies, or clownfish? Which would they be talking about, Pointer Ridge?
Monarch butterflies?
No, they wouldn't be talking about monarch butterflies. Charismatic megafauna. Would those scientists be talking about tigers, monarch butterflies, or clownfish?
Tigers.
Yeah, tigers. Mega was the prefix meaning big. Fauna is animals, big animals. And charismatic are the ones that people love, like penguins and pandas. Those are charismatic animals. Okay, good comeback there. You'll get them next time, Cadence. Go, Kendall.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, recently on Jeopardy! An IBM computer named for Alexander Graham Bell's famous assistant beat the humans. What was the name of the computer for 25 points? All right, Kendall.
An android?
Not an android, no. Alexander Graham Bell's famous assistant had the same name as this computer, this IBM computer that beat the humans on Jeopardy! Do you know his name?
The name of the computer?
Yes.
Dell? The Dell computer?
It wasn't a Dell computer. I like your answer. Watson. The computer's name was Watson. And Alexander Graham Bell, his first message was, Watson, come here. And that was the first phone message. And all right, we go back to the red team. Northview.
Dateline Science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, what joint in your body is much in the news today because people are getting replacements for that joint with a ball and socket device that is now shedding metal because they are metal on metal pieces? What joint is being replaced for 20 points, Northview?
Knee.
Not the knee. Good try. Pointer Ridge, what is this joint that is being replaced with this ball and socket joint that is problematic?
The hip.
The hip, that's it. Good comeback. Good, go. All right, getting a couple high fives over there. That's what I like. Keep it up, guys. Go green.
Body Systems for 15.
Body Systems, 15 points. Teams, recently some people here in Washington ate mushrooms that were poisonous and they didn't know it. They were rushed to the hospital and almost needed to get a transplant of what very large internal body organ that is your body's detox center? Northview.
Your stomach?
No, not the stomach. Those people that ate those poisonous mushrooms almost needed a new what organ? That very large internal organ that's your body's detox center.
Heart?
No, your liver. Your liver. They almost needed a liver transplant. Try again, Green. Come on, Cadence. You choose.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, squirrels. They can be annoying, but they're also very clever. Many times before they bury an acorn, they will remove what part of that acorn so it won't germinate and grow into an oak tree. What part do they remove for 25 points, Northview?
The cap.
No. Pointer Ridge, what part of that seed, that acorn, do they remove, those clever squirrels, so that the acorn doesn't germinate?
The coat.
Not the coat, the embryo, the little embryo that's inside that's going to grow up as the baby plant. They just take it out. Nasty little things, but luckily they forget sometimes and they forget where they bury them. Go green. Come on, let's get some points here. Get some questions you can answer.
Let's get physical for 10.
All right, let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, back in 1912, Johansen Glacier calved one of these that eventually sank the Titanic. Pointer Ridge.
Iceberg.
That's it. Good. Go. 10.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri, 15 points. Question is as follows. Recently on the mall in downtown Washington, they had the Solar Decathlon. How many events that people participated in, Northview?
10.
10. Deca means 10. Good. Play. Again.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the name of the dolphin in the new movie Dolphin Tale has the same name as the solstice that takes place on December 22nd every year.
Winter.
Kendall?
Winter.
Winter is the name of the dolphin. Yes, the winter solstice in December. Thank you, Wilfredo, for your assist on that. Go, Kendall.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, it was back on October 18th, 2010, when President Obama had the very first of these in the White House ever, with backboards, hypotheses, observations, conclusions, and nervous kids like you. What took place, Kendall?
Science project?
More?
Science fair.
Science fair, that's right. Yes, the first ever science fair at the White House. Good. Red, go.
Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. After the tsunami hit Japan, the nuclear power plant over there feared that its core would do what same thing as the Wicked Witch of the West did in The Wizard of Oz? Northview.
Fall?
No, not fall. Pointer Ridge.
Melt.
Melt, yes, they were fearing a meltdown in the core. Good. Caden said, I knew that one. I knew it. Go.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri, 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. In the movie Aliens, they say, in space, no one can hear you scream. Why? What's missing in outer space? Why can no one hear you scream out there? Kendall?
Oxygen?
More.
Air?
Air, yes. There's no air, there's no atmosphere out there. Absolutely right. Nothing to conduct the sound waves. Good. Go. Northview.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, when this joint jerks without you controlling it, it is known as a reflex. What kind of jerk reflex am I talking about? What joint?
Knee.
What joint, Northview?
Your knee.
Your knee, the knee joint reflex, the knee jerk. That's right, where they tap your knee with a little hammer. All right, go Red.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, if you watch the Animal Planet in their series Big Cats, you know that there are certain big cats around the world for which these body parts are retractable. What are retractable on some big cats? Northview.
Their nail.
Again?
Nail.
Yes, they're nails. Yes, they're claws. Absolutely right. Sarah even surprised herself with that one. Yes, retractable claws or nails. Go. Red.
Wow. Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade, 10 points. Here's your question. In the new movie, Happy Feet 2, Brad Pitt and Matt Damon play these tasty crustaceans that are at the bottom of the food chain in the ocean. They play what characters? Northview.
Shrimps?
Yes, they are a couple of shrimp, sometimes called krill. Good. Red, go.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, if you open your mouth wide to do this, scientists now think that you're trying to cool your brain because you didn't get enough sleep last night.
Yawn.
Pointer Ridge?
Yawn.
Yawning, that's right, yeah. So it has a purpose and it's contagious. All right. Cadence, you're at the century mark. Still not out of it.
Let's get physical. Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25. Big one in that category. That's how to play the game. Strategize. Teams, most of the planets in our solar system have moons. Some have over a dozen. But what 2 planets in our solar system have no moons? The 2 that have none. Northview.
Uranus and Pluto?
No, no. Pointer Ridge, what 2 planets in our solar system have no moons?
Uranus and Neptune.
Mercury and Venus, the ones closest to the sun. Go again, green.
63.
Green, please, Cadence.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Multiple choice question. Teams, plants that are known as succulents would most likely be found in deserts, tropical rainforests, or tundras. Where would you find them, Pointer Ridge?
Tropical rainforest.
Nope. Where would you find succulents, Kendall?
Deserts.
Deserts, yes. Succulents are cactus and aloe plants that have very fleshy, wet leaves. Go, Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please, for this question. Teams, you're going to see some young Chinese boys oblivious to the fact that they're swimming around in a lake that is filled with algae. Yes, indeed. Keep your mouth closed, kids. Keep your mouth closed. Okay, go Red.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, in the cartoons, when a character gets a bright idea, what pops up above its head? Northview?
Light bulb.
Light bulb, please. Wait till we acknowledge you. Yes, indeed. Good. Go. We're down to the last couple questions. Where, Kendall?
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, what green thing apparently does not stick to a rolling stone and is always found growing on the north side of a tree? Kendall.
Moss.
Moss. A rolling stone gathers no moss. Yes. Where next?
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, when an animal goes south for the winter or builds a nest, it's not a behavior it has to learn. It's a what? Pointer Ridge.
Inhabited.
Again?
It's inhabited.
It's inhabited. Not quite. I think I know where you're headed, though. Northview, it's not learn. Animals don't have to learn how to build a nest or learn to migrate. Those behaviors are what?
An instinct.
An instinct. That's what I want to hear. Yep. Let's get physical for 20. Last question of the game. And this will be it. Look at the monitor, please, for this last question. Teams, Chrysler once named its cars after clouds. There was a Chrysler Cirrus, a Chrysler Stratus, but they never named a car, a cloud car, after this kind of cloud. Can you tell me what it is for 20 points at the end of this game, Cadence?
Cumulus?
That's right. They never named a Chrysler Cumulus. I guess it sounds kind of wussy. I like that. You went out on a high note there. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't you go away.
Whether it's passing on medicine, a blanket, or something as simple as a glass of water, that's how compassion works. And that's how Marinol works. For nearly 100 years, Marinol's been passing on your help to their priests and brothers working in 26 countries around the world. Hand to hand. That's Marinol.
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 Excuse me. Excuse me?
There are some things you can't control.
The weather.
The front page.
Cell phones ringing.
Traffic.
The stock market, obviously.
Hearing they love you.
Or they don't.
We're hearing the one thing no one wants to hear.
Cancer.
Okay, things you can control.
What you know before treatment.
Your options.
All the facts.
There's a high risk of infection during chemotherapy.
So don't let anything interrupt your fight against cancer.
Get prepared.
Get healthy.
Stay strong.
Stay well.
Talk to your doctors.
And go to manageyourtreatment.com.
There are some things you can't control.
But this, you honestly can.
Thank you and welcome back to Science Bowl. We hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. We are proud of all 6 of our players. You did a splendid job, all of you. Our final tally today is Pointer Ridge 120, Northview 250 points. They're waving and smiling already. Wilfredo and Kendall and Sarah, congratulations to you. And also Megan Paternoster. Megan, you waved to everybody because you're an important part of this team. We're honored to have Mr. Simmons, the principal, here today, Mr. Moffitt, and the wonderful Mrs. Grove, who works so hard, as does Mr. Moffitt. Congratulations. We're going to see you in the next round. Let's see some smiles over here. You guys were terrific. Jamal and Cadence and Donovan, you never gave up. Miss Reedy, thank you for being here. We're honored to have also Miss Stevenson, the principal of Pointer Ridge. And Daniel, we're not going to forget you. You're an important part of this team, too. Thank you all for being here. I hope to see you again. Hope to see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye now.